So this is all you need to make some awesome mini strawberry cheesecakes that we're about to make. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is preheat our oven to 350 degrees. So the next thing for the recipe is we want to make our crust. And the first thing we need to do is take about 30 of our vanilla wafers and we're going to break them up in a plastic bag. Okay. And 30. And I'm going to put in 2 more for extra, just in case I want a little bit of an extra crust. Now, some people have said you can do this with a rolling pin. I find that just a flat mallet works great for me. Make sure you close the bag. You don't want your crumbs everywhere. And you can just take out your little frustrations on your little vanilla wafers. You don't want to bang too hard because you'll go through your bag. Ultimately, you want to end up with 1 cup. And you can use a food processor to do this as well. I think we've kind of gotten it there. So now we're going to measure them and make sure we have about a cup. I do like that the recipe gives a measurement. Sometimes they just tell you, oh, about 30 cookies, and they don't give you a measurement, and that can be a little bit difficult. All right. Yep, we are right at a cup. I don't know if you guys can see that because of the angle, but we're right at a cup. Okay, and that looks really good. All right, on to the next step. Okay, time to melt about 3 tablespoons of butter. So the next thing we need to do is get our muffin pan set up. I have found these aluminum muffin tin liners, and I absolutely love them. I mean, the paper ones are fine, but these seem to let go of whatever you're baking in them really easily, so you don't have to leave the paper on them. And I think what I'm going to do, let's see if I have enough. We're going to use 1 paper one so I can show you kind of what the difference is when we get all done. All right, so I've got those liners in. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to make our cheesecake crust. So what we have is 1 cup of crushed vanilla wafers, which was about 30 wafers. And then we have 3 tablespoons of melted butter. And again, this is a great time to say this. You can make this recipe vegan. You're just going to have to do a few substitutes. So here you would use your vegan butter. Okay. All right, we're going to mix that together. And I know I could have gotten a really cute bowl to do this, or I could have used my mixer, but we want to save on dishes. I'm the dishwasher of the family, so I'm saving on my dishes. Okay, I think I have those wet enough. All right, so now what we want to do is we're going to put this down at the bottom of each one of our little liners to start our cheesecake. Oops, I tell you, I always say, if I wasn't messy, I wouldn't be cooking. I should have named my channel The Messy Cook. Okay, I'm going to start out with just like a little bit of a tablespoon, kind of a shallow tablespoon in each one, just because I've never made this recipe before, so I don't know how much it's going to take. I don't know how much I'm gonna have like left over. I don't want to keep it too scrimpy, but I don't want to overdo it on the first ones and then have nothing for the last ones. And yes, we're gonna go back and press these down a little bit. All right, so we definitely had enough to go around. So let's see, I think I'm gonna go back through. Let's see if I can press that down a little bit and give each one maybe another half a tablespoon. Again, not an exact measurement. You can play around with it yourself, and then what I usually do is I'll play around with the recipe a little bit, see what it takes, and then I write it down for the next time when I make it. So I can write down on this one in the margins, I can say it took about 1.5 spoons want to cover each one well and to use up all my wafers. Now, if you think this is a little too scrimpy and you want a nicer crust to go on it, you can, you know, pulverize up some more wafers and a little bit more butter and make your crust a little bit thicker. Okay, we're on to our next step. We want to take 8 ounces of softened cream cheese, and I've just bought the spreadable kind so that it would already be nice and soft. Again, another vegan place to stop. They do make vegan cream cheese, so you just buy your vegan cream cheese if you're going to make this vegan. So we're going to pour that into our bowl. Then we're going to take our 1/3 of a cup of regular granulated sugar, pour that in, and then we want 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. Let's see how much lemon juice I end up everywhere. All right, 1. Yep, there we go. And 2. Okay, and then we also need 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla bean paste. You can use vanilla extract. I like vanilla bean paste. So here is 1, and I'm a little heavy-handed with my vanilla bean paste just because I love the taste of it. So 1.5 to 2 teaspoons of vanilla bean paste. All right, and so we're gonna mix that on low speed. And I'm using my whisk attachment because I really wanna get this nice and fluffy. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is put in our egg. Let me make sure. Okay, yes. 1 large egg. Okay. And now we're gonna beat that just until it's combined on low speed. Now, time to put it in our little muffin tins. This will probably be better. Everybody can see. All right, again, like earlier, I'm just gonna take a heaping spoonful first for each one because I don't wanna be scrimpy just yet, but we're just gonna put a little bit in each one. That way we know each cup will get a certain amount. That is looking so nice. And don't forget, if you didn't hear earlier, your oven should be preheating at 350 degrees. There's not going to be a whole lot extra. So just a good heaping tablespoon size full for each one. Wow, that's cutting it kind of tight, isn't it? I have to remember that on this recipe for the future. All right, we're gonna go ahead and even these out a little bit to spread them out to where they kind of cover the crust on the bottom. And then we'll go back and scrape our bowl a little bit and see if we can get a little bit extra. You see how I'm not moving it around too much because I don't want that crust to come up from the bottom and get all mixed in with my cream cheese mixture. Okay, now we're gonna put this in our oven at 350 degrees for about 12 to 15 minutes until the centers are a little bit set, and then we're gonna let them cool completely. So let me give y'all a close-up look. A little bit messy looking right now, but still good to go. All right, so we cooked them for 15 minutes on 350 degrees, and I'm gonna give the pan a little shake so that you can see the centers are set. And we're just gonna let them sit here and cool completely, and then we'll come back and dress them up and have one. All right, time to taste test. So I have my pretty plate here with my little mini cheesecakes on them. See all my nice little pretty plate. All right, now let's try a bite. So let's see, we've got some of our nice fresh strawberries on there, and we have that beautiful vanilla wafer crust on the bottom. That is so lovely. It's so beautifully creamy. That vanilla wafer crust on the bottom just gives a tiny little bit of sweetness to it. And then the strawberries are kind of like that little tangy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope y'all loved this video. I had a ball making these. Did want to let you know too, you can freeze them for about a month. So if you need to make them ahead of time. I will say the only comment I would make is, I don't know if you can see real well, but they're a little on the short side. So I probably would double the filling recipe, either that or half them and only make 6, so they could be a little bit taller, just because I think that would make a yummier bite. So catch y'all on the next bake.